You might be wondering, Trump has an event at 4 p.m. on a Thursday in New Hampshire. Who goes to such a speech in the middle of the workday on a Thursday in New Hampshire? Well, the great thing is we have video of who goes there. Let's take a look. They actually interviewed on Right Side Broadcasting a young guy who says that Trump inspired him to maybe run for office one day. At school, they tell him he's racist and sexist, but Trump has inspired this kid or something like that. Look at this. The future leaders of America.
So what's your plans? You're the youngest one right now in Connecticut. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I don't even know what that means. I'm the youngest one in Connecticut, but
no.
Well, I got inspired by a man you know quite well. His name's Donald Trump. And my goal someday is to get higher up in politics. I don't really know where that's going to lead me, but I keep the same principles that he has. Never give up, never give in, never back down. And as a young conservative, I've taken a lot of heat, especially in school. I've been called all the labels, racist, sexist. I've been yelled at by teachers because I stood for the Pledge of Allegiance when no one else would. So I've kind of learned that, especially in Connecticut, which is a quite liberal state, you got to stand for what you believe in. So I'd like to maybe move up and run for office when I'm done pursuing my education, get that degree under your belt, and hopefully maybe one day run for a national office.
That's what you got to do. I love it. Well, let's just give a good shout out on his outfit here. I love the red pants.
The kid is wearing a blue suit jacket that has white stars on it. It's sort of like a flag version of a suit, I guess. I'm going to move on without any further commentary on this one. I think it's a minor and it all is a little bit icky. But I'll just say that that's really, really sad video. They then interviewed another individual who I guess is legally an adult. And this guy says he's an atheist, but he also is a Christian conservative. Very interesting.
So if I'm open and honest, I'm an atheist, but I align more closely with a Christian conservative worldview. And so I pretty much support Christian conservatism, that whole moral compass, and so that's what I stand for.
Yeah, that's really sad in that it is so mixed up and jumbled. I'm an atheist, but the morality of Christian conservatism strikes me as correct. Therefore, I am going to support candidates who actually think that I, as an atheist, should have a subservient or secondary status to them, because they believe that we should have a country that is overtly Christian in terms of civil government. It's all really, really whacked. Now, here's my favorite moment from this, okay? Remember ivermectin, one of these cures that didn't cure nor prevent COVID that was being floated by many on the right? They have a new commercial on Right Side Broadcasting. I guess the guy who recommended ivermectin to Trump has some supplement that will ward off spike protein, which they have. There's almost nothing true, but the funniest part about this is the broadcaster on Right Side Broadcasting, her diction is so terrible, and she barely even understands what she's reading, and at one point refers to ivermectin as ivervectin. I can't imagine they sold any of these pills based on this ad.
Protein. Spike protein is the toxic substance that attaches to your cells to allow mRNA to enter. Worse, both COVID and the vaccine function by using spike proteins to attach to your cells. Many of us have become overloaded with excess spike protein from our surroundings over the past few years and haven't made the connection between not feeling 100%.
None of this is true. I want to make really clear. None of this is true. It's a grift on a grift on a grift on a grift.
And spike protein overload. This is a sad reality that we all have to address. Fortunately, there is help. The chief medical board at the wellness company, including Dr. Peter McCullough, the doctor that recommended ivermectin.
Ivermectin. Remember when we took ivermectin, guys?
And hydroxychloroquine to President Trump back in 2020, as well as renowned epidemiologist.
All right. So they're selling a pill that from the guy who brought you ivermectin. They have a pill to get rid of spike protein that you might have absorbed from bananas in the grocery store. It's just the spike is all in our environment, which is really, really crazy. Then they got back to interviewing people. They found a guy at the Trump rally who, remember, the Trump rally was in Manchester, New Hampshire. He came up from New Jersey because he believes Trump was sent by God.
I think it's very important to support Donald Trump. If not, our nation goes down. I believe he was sent by God
to preserve Abraham Lincoln's promise that a government of the people and by the people and for the people will not perish. But I think it's rather ironic because I remember, probably nobody else knows this, this armory in 1976, I was here when I was in high school. And this is where Ronald Reagan gave his speech announcing that he was primarying President Ford.
All right, so a bit of a history lesson, and then the same guy mentions that he would also be willing to take a bullet for Trump, and says a lot of the people at the rally would.
My support of Donald Trump is unwavering. I would take a bullet for the man. Seriously, and a lot of us would, and we're going to, even if they wouldn't put him on the ballot, we'd write him in.
There you go. Totally normal stuff. And by the way, let's hope that it is a write-in campaign, that somehow Trump loses the primary and these folks write him in. It would guarantee that Donald Trump loses. All right, last thing, and then we're going to move on. Some people at this rally, just a random lame rally where Trump gave the same speech he always gives with a little bit of additional hysteria. People camped out overnight after driving up from Florida.
Born to Ride for 45 is here. I came from Florida, 60th Trump event. We love Trump. A lot of us come across the country to come see the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump.
That's absolutely right. I'm from Tennessee. Got here last night, flew in.
Oh, she flew
When
in.
you guys got here, was there anybody else in line, or?
Oh yeah, they set up the tent over here and stuff.
Well, let's go.
Set it up at 4 o'clock yesterday.
4 o'clock yesterday. Let's go in here real quickly. We heard you guys were here at 4 o'clock yesterday, setting up a tent. Where are you from? Where are you from, my man?
I'm from New York City, the Bronx.
The Bronx. Came all the way down here for President Trump.
Of course.
All right. So listen, it's a cult. We shouldn't for a moment think that the cult has diminished as we head into 24. What we have to hope for and push for is that a lot of them are just bored because politics was just a shiny object and now they moved on, and that others will be tied up with something else and just won't be as engaged with the exact same Trump message that he's been using for 6 years now. And that on turnout, we end up preventing Trump from getting back into the Oval Office. But if for a second you believe the hardcore cultists are any less interested, let those interviews be proof that that is very, very much not the case.